Mercedes won unexpectedly in Spielberg, with George Russell capitalising on a clash and contact between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Although the squad lead by Toto Wolff lacked the sheer pace to win in Austria, the victory gives them confidence. But that's not all, as big upgrades are expected to come at Silverstone, which will propel the squad even further up the grid. Could they be back for real this time? More information is coming from the plant in Brackley. The W15 is on a very promising trajectory, with simulation data currently precisely matching the track. This offers James Allison and his technical team plenty of cause to be optimistic. The Silver Arrows are working on the next stage of their development, which will address the upgrades brought by McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull in recent months. The Mercedes technical director delivered a fighting talk a few weeks ago, hinting that hopeful changes are on the way. With Sunday's victory, the W15 is only a few tenths away from consistently fighting for victories. While Mercedes' victory in Austria required a stroke of luck, their performance was impressive nonetheless. Even at the height of their supremacy, the Red Bull ring was never a stronghold for the German constructor. As a result, Toto Wolff is certain that Silverstone will be an even better weekend. Following Sunday's race, the Mercedes team principal assessed on the team's development. "It is a great feeling to get back onto the top step of the podium. It is a fantastic reward for the hard work and efforts of everyone at Brackley and Brixworth. We have taken good steps forward in recent races, and we are excited about what is still to come. We now look forward to Silverstone next week," Toto Wolff stated. "We are encouraged by our overall performance this weekend at a track that has not normally been a favourite for our cars. Our aim over the next few races is to continue to show progress and aim to get closer to the front." Although Mercedes requires more absolute pace, the tide is changing. Ferrari has not made the expected progress with their Spain upgrading program. Meanwhile, Red Bull is beginning to feel the impact of restricted wind tunnel time. Their growth is plateauing, as indicated by 4 teams winning races in 2024. And perhaps they feel the loss of Adrian Newey as well. In addition, the Silver Arrows are often quite good operationally. Toto Wolff and his team have plenty of reasons to be optimistic, especially given the massive enhancements that are on the way. To top all that, Toto Wolff stated that Mercedes never had this in 12 years that we were able to develop, design, manufacture, bring it to the track and have the quality in the pieces. This weekend-by-weekend approach helped them in Austria as well. "On pace, we were the 3rd quickest car," the Austrian stated. "And we've been this way the last 3 weekends, and that is very encouraging to see that upward trend and the consolidation of the trend. But racing happens on Sunday. Sometimes we've been on the receiving end, and today we've benefited from the incident at the front. It's just good to have that win in the pocket this year. It means there's 4 teams that won races this year, and it's been 2023 where we haven't won a race since 2011. That is good to know, and certainly big momentum now in the team to go to a point where we are able on real performance to fight for the win. And I think we will be." Wolff then lauded his team's remarkable effort to provide enhancements. "I think we are bringing upgrades now almost to every race. The factory is running on full steam. We've never had this in 12 years that we were able to develop, design, manufacture, bring it to the track and have the quality in the pieces. I've seriously never seen that pace. Every single race we have brought upgrades. Every single race we will bring upgrades, and I hope by the summer break we can make another step. Now, everyone else is working hard, but if we can eat a bit away at that gap, I think it was 15 seconds in 70 laps, so 2/10 a lap, and that's okay. That's a P3, and hopefully if we can half it, we can race in front," Wolff ended. The improvement over the weekend in Austria was impressive to say the least, especially when you take in the fact that the Austrian Grand Prix was never anticipated to provide a large number of changes because it was a sprint in the middle of a triple header, making it difficult to introduce new parts. Nonetheless, other teams defied the trend, continuing to attempt to wring out the little performance gains that are proving so important in the battles up and down the grid. And Mercedes perhaps did it best. Mercedes has maintained its habit of introducing changes to practically every race, adding a new beam wing arrangement to its arsenal on a weekend where George Russell won. On this new beam wing, the bottom part of their biplane layout has shrunk in chord when compared to the standard employed since its introduction at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The team aimed to reduce downforce and drag with the redesigned part, which had a shorter trailing edge than the prior standard. The outside perimeter at the end plate is likewise noticeably shorter than previously. What do you think? Are Mercedes reaping the rewards from these upgrades? If it weren't for these recent upgrades, a Ferrari would have probably won on Sunday, so it must at least help something, right? But will this and the incoming upgrades be enough to become consistent challengers for wins? Next to car upgrades, Toto also took the time to talk about another kind of upgrades: driver upgrades. Toto Wolff has acknowledged that Max Verstappen will most likely not join Mercedes next season, but he sees no reason why the Dutchman won't be in Brackley in 2026 if he can get out of his contract. Wolff has spent much of this year publicly courting Verstappen to replace Lewis Hamilton, who is leaving at the end of the year due to the Britain's decision to join Ferrari for next year's championship. Drawing on the turmoil at Red Bull after Christian Horner was probed for suspected inappropriate behaviour, Wolff has made no secret of his belief that Mercedes would be a better alternative for the Dutchman. However, he concedes that it is a superior alternative over time. Today, Red Bull is the team to beat, with Verstappen winning 7 of this year's 11 Grand Prix and 81 points ahead of Lando Norris in the drivers' standings. With next year's cars being a continuation of this season's, although under more pressure this year, Red Bull will still enter the 2025 season as favourites as Verstappen seeks what will most likely be his 5th world title in a row. But 2026 is another thing. Formula One is not only introducing new cars to the grid, but also new engines. And the last time the latter was altered, Mercedes got an advantage over their competitors. Wolff says Mercedes may be quite attractive to Verstappen in 2026 if he can get out of his Red Bull contract, which runs until 2028. Would Max Verstappen consider joining Mercedes in 2025? No, there is no reason. Why would he? He said. The Red Bull car is ultra-dominant. Maybe he's going to win every race and a driver will always seek that kind of machine. That has changed over the last few weeks and months. There are 3 teams that were competing against each other. Hopefully we can demonstrate that we are part of this group now too. So maybe there's a window, but 2026 is our main year where lots of things change, and I think it could be quite attractive to drive with us. But whether it's Max and whether he can get out of his contract, I don't know. According to popular sources, Verstappen's contract includes a provision related to Helmut Marko. If the motorsport advisor leaves the team, Verstappen can as well. Wolff, on the other hand, is unable to comment, stating that he does not know what form it is. But, he continued, I think in any case, if a driver doesn't want to stay somewhere, it's very difficult to keep a driver, but I'm not relying on that. I think most important is to look at ourselves. Quick cars are always going to attract the attention of a quick driver, so that's our main priority. All of these driver movements here is not the end of the story. However, after Christian Horner celebrated Verstappen's yes during Thursday's driver news conference in Austria when asked if he will continue at Red Bull next season, Helmut Marko has dismissed Wolff's ambition to recruit the triple world champion as a wish. The Red Bull motorsport advisor said, "Above all, I think Wolff's wish is the father of the thought. Our starting point has remained unchanged. As long as Red Bull provides Verstappen with a competitive car, and as long as he feels good, there is no reason for him to leave the team." However, Martin Brundle believes Verstappen will eventually join Mercedes. At some point, I think there's a good chance of that, he said. Nobody's got a crystal ball even available to them for 2026, but my feeling is there's a lot of talk in the paddock that Max can exit and go to Mercedes next year. I think that's receding quite a lot. Then the question is Kimi Antonelli ready to step into that spotlight alongside George at the Mercedes Works team? There's a lot of plates spinning and a lot of balls up in the air. We've got a half dozen drivers who haven't yet sat down, and obviously Carlos Sainz now is the cork in that bottle, assuming Max, of course, is going to be at Red Bull. What do you think? Will Verstappen drive in a Mercedes in the future, or will he stay at Red Bull for future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.